You're listening to the Game Jazz of the Stars. My name is your host, Frederick Cholin.
Hello, and my name is, of course, you've heard me before, but my name is, I'm gonna throw to our other producer here because, you know, I'm having trouble right now.
And my name is Peter Molyneux.
I'm Douglas. There we go.
Douglas Fur. Welcome to the program.
And as I already said, you're listening to the Game Jazz of the Stars. We are some of the foremost producers on the Sonic the Hedgehog project.
We're so proud
It's true.
of what we've done.
I said to this little unknown, his name was Sonic, and I said,
Well,
I'm gonna
back
make you
then,
a star.
Douglas, you're forgetting back then his name was Bonic. And we had to suggest he change it for Hollywood.
Yeah, his name was Bonic the Crap Gog. And we were like, no way, that's not gonna fly with the people
Not gonna
these
fly
days.
in our town.
And so we were like, what about Sonic the Hedgehog?
And just like that.
And just like that, we created a franchise that would span the generations.
And
Now,
back
we did
then,
have to
Bonic-
fire the first Sonic, Bonic, and replace him with Phonic, the new Sonic. After all that, the hubbub on the
A
internet.
funny thing a lot of people don't know is back then Bonic was just a little mouse. He was a cyan mouse, and we turned him into a blue hedgehog with the quickness.
We made him so fast he's a little blur. Just like my breakfast in the morning when I wake up. I eat it so fast.
So Peter, you've actually been pushing for this film for how many decades now? It's been a lot.
Well, I'm 85, and I'm happy to say that after 60 years, 6 decades of pushing for this film, we had to first make and then clone and kill about 50 of these hedgehogs by the time that Hollywood was finally ready for this. And happy to say, it finally went off without a hitch. The reviews are in. People love it. People love the Blue Boy. And
it's
$65 million opening weekend. You couldn't ask for more. Those little hedgehogs died
Also,
for
it's
some
funny
money.
that you say without a hitch because we were originally pushing to have Will Smith in this picture as well.
It was originally Hitch 2. And
Sonic the Hedgehog.
but after a while, after a test screening, they were like, maybe we should just call it Sonic the Hedgehog, and then get Jim Carrey to do things he did 30 years ago.
We did have to
So
cut
that's
Will
where we
Smith
are.
out of the picture. But this project has been in development hell for quite a while. We took a break in the middle of rewrites and pitches. We had to work on shutting down unions, and that didn't go so well for us, obviously.
Let me take an aside here and just say, I hate unions. No one should be unionized. Just let me take care of you. I'm like your father. It is my family. Don't worry about a union. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog's mother is an owl.
Yeah, very normal.
Normal. And we got James Marsden. He didn't actually do any acting in this. We just took
wandered
all
on
of.
set.
Well, no, we just took all of the footage from his other movie starring a small anthropomorphized animal, which I believe was called Hop. And he didn't film anything for this movie, so we didn't pay him at all. And that really helped bring down production costs.
And that's another perk of working non-union.
Yeah. Anyway, why don't, yeah, you. I don't remember your name.
Okay, we're gonna be moving on to our next segment here. Our favorite review quotes from our Sonic picture that just came out.
Have you heard of this movie? It's called Sonic.
And we produced this picture. We're so proud to have it out there. And again, we would like all of the unions to be shut down, but In the meantime,
Let's
what
get
are some review quotes, any pull quotes you gentlemen have found on your, over your weekend here that really impressed you?
So my personal favorite was by Universal Studios. They sent out the entire crew to come see the movie, and they said, "Holy shit, that's a really fast hedgehog." And I just love it. I think it captures the whole spirit of the film.
Well,
I love that.
I think what really helped with the sort of fast pacing is that it was only 5 minutes long. You get the whole story. It's a full hour and 30-minute movie, but we just speed it up. It's very sped
we
up.
shot the whole thing. Theaters love it.
Absolutely, and of course, it was much easier to make it that short after we cut Will Smith out of the picture. Now, a quote that really spoke to me this weekend is I was reading Variety, and they had to say about the Sonic picture. They said, this portrayal of a rodent in cinema should practically be illegal, and we're going to petition the Senate to make it so. And I thought that really spoke to just how perfectly we could portray a blue Bonic.
A blue Bonic who's from a different planet who comes to Earth. Now, I wanted to just sort of discuss our process. Peter, so you really fought for this scene for a really long time. So I'm just going to throw it to you. Explain, your original idea and then how it got into the film.
It all started with, we had Bonic, and he's blue, so I was thinking maybe like a plague movie, like the Bubonic Plague, could be sort of a place that we could take it, and sort of like a World War Z situation where he's got to outrun the plague, and then he realizes that he's the one who started it, and it's this whole thing, and then Jim Carrey comes in with the antidote, flies on a plane, can't go faster than the Bubonic. That was the whole sort of original direction that I wanted to go down. Then, of course, World War Z came out, and I realized I couldn't make the same movie twice. I did produce that one also. And from there, I started thinking about what's the big thing that's facing us today. It's the ecological disasters. And so I got Mr. Carey to portray an eco-terrorist. And why don't you tell him how we sort of wrap up the story after that?
Yeah, so, of course, he's an eco-terrorist, but it actually turns out that he is also himself a hedgehog, and he calls himself Shadow. And there was this whole thing from the original video games where Shadow is this guy who's sort of the opposite of Sonic. But this is how we brought back Will Smith's lines, is we had him voice Shadow. Jim Carrey quit mid-production. Crazy. Because he's for unions, and he hates the president or something.
So hard to work with.
Anyway, so Will Smith came back on to voice this Shadow Hedgehog, and it ends with, it's the camera keeps pulling back out of the sky, and then it just turns into just a little playpen with two hedgehogs in it, and it's a little kid's room, and it's above it says Sonic and Shadow's home. Crazy story, but the kids, they really love that, and we work directly with Hedgehog sellers, and we've already gotten reports that Hedgehog sales are through the roof. That's really what the point of this movie was. We wanted to sell more and more hedgehogs.
Anyway, that's the end of this bit.